Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
One of my very favorite things to do is to mock Bill and Hillary Clinton. And I love this one. This is a great one. Note, Chrysler Corporation is adding a new car to its line to honor Bill Clinton. It's called the Dodge Drafter. Will be built in Canada. I like that. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Pledge of Allegiance coming up. Oh, thank you very much, and welcome to Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. Hi, good morning, I'm Zeb Bell, and also some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and, of course, Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Right now, let's go to the phone line and say good morning to our Pledge of Allegiance.
I will gladly do it.
Oh, you're so well trained. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job, Wheels. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Calls are welcome, and we're right now going to start with the weather, and the weather is brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-6945. Look for the blue door. They've got everything you need to make your house a home. All the kitchen construction, carpet and flooring, everything at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. And right now, here is Michael Rogers' weather.
No change as far as our weather is concerned, so it's still going to be wet. I'm sorry about that. You won't possibly see the sun till Tuesday of next week. So what is the good news out of all of this? Well, number one, you're getting some water. Number two, the temperatures for today are going to be a lot warmer than what they were yesterday. Looking for low 70s, upper 60s, low 70s all the way through the weekend. If it works out, and I think it will, you possibly will see the sun over the weekend, but not a lot of it. But you'll come out of this whole mess by Tuesday, maybe that Wednesday next week. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
All right. The world's best weatherman, Michael Rogers Weather. Thank you very much. Brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, 678-6945. And add some greenery to your home. Potted plants and softness and flowers. And, it just makes everything just add life to a room, says Whitney at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. There you go. Hey, it's sale day. Merv, come on in here.
All right. Good set of steer calves there. Here to get all the 31, 1, 31, 1, 32, 2.
That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy waiting for you at 10 o'clock this morning. Sale time. And right now, let's take a look at what they've got. We're going to have a lot of butcher cows coming in from TLK Dairy. And again, more butcher cows from the Acme Dairy. And Merv said they are expecting expecting a great line of trailer line cattle coming in this morning. So be there at 10 o'clock at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Sale time, 10 o'clock. Number to call for more information, 678-9411. The Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, he gets the steer calves there here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, $7.35. Zeb Bell, get the bottom again.
I'll take that bottom. You can bet on that. Hey, right now, I want to acknowledge a very happy birthday. And this lady is such a dear, dear lady, and I wish her so many more birthdays. She's so nice, and a lot of times she'll give me a call, and I'm gone someplace. I'll come home, and then I'll see her number on my screen. God bless Rosa Goff. I certainly hope she has a blessed birthday today. Rosa, if you're listening this morning, happy birthday to you. A very special day. Thank you. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. They open the doors at 7:30 in the morning and stay open till 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And by the way, we're just days away from warmer temperatures and the need for the air conditioner. So make sure you've got clean air filters for that air conditioner. And you can buy them in cases of 12, as a matter of fact. Holy cow, and really save on the money. So there you go. Everything you need for your heating and electric, all there at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they always provide warm winters and cool summers. A little bit later on this morning at about 10:23, we're going to be talking to the marketing director for Valleywide Home and Ranch. And Valleywide, of course, located at 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Sean and Mandy, the whole crew. Listen, let's kind of lump this together a little bit this morning. First of all, I want to remind you again, you have just a matter of days to get your antique tractor registered and entered for the June 19 and 20 Antique Tractor Show they're going to have at Valleywide Home and Ranch. So please, May 30th is the deadline, and there's going to be trophies and prizes and all kinds of goodies from Valleywide. So get entered. And then 4-H'ers. They've got everything you need for your 4-H projects. All your feed, all your utensils that you need, whether you're in the beef project, the dairy project, chickens, horses, whatever, they've got it all for you right there. And 4-H'ers do get a 10% discount, so there you go. And the fishing department, absolutely excellent at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. You stop in and see those good folks today. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I got to tell you that yesterday, right after the show, we jumped in the old four-wheeled Wonder and took off for Bellevue. And we were up there for a ranch rodeo that was put together by Trudy Peterson for our veterans that have been suffering with some war-related injuries, PTSD, etc., and many of which were the contestants in that ranch rodeo. It was a tribute to our military vets, and it was so tastefully done at River Sage Stables in Bellevue, and I get a little teary-eyed thinking about how nice it was. And salute to our veterans and members of our military that have suffered some really traumatic injuries and trauma since they left the war front. And to be a part of it, it meant so much to me. And so to our military, to the folks with Higher Ground, the organization that helped put it on, Trudy Peterson, and of course River Sage Stables, and everybody connected to it, it was a wonderful event. Thank you for having me be involved. I appreciate it. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know what today is, do you not? Well, I hope so, because today is Lunch Bunch Day at Denny's Restaurant. Oh boy! We're going to be over there at 611 Overland at 11:30 this morning for Lunch Bunch. Thomas and Terry, the whole crew, everybody serving you with the best of menu items, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And we're going to have a lot of door prizes provided by Smith's Food King, Walmart, and Hanson Mortuary. Oh, please be there. Talk to my old buddy Jack Euler this morning. He's going to drive down. Everybody's going to try to be at Denny's Restaurant, where the food is delicious. For Lunch Bunch today at 11:30, Denny's Restaurant. Don't you miss it. Going to be a lot of fun. And while I'm waiting for your calls to come in this morning, I also want to acknowledge our friends at Berry Equipment and Rental. Yes, I do appreciate them. We had the new salesperson on the line here about a week or so ago, Will Janes, and he's taking care of all the Doosan and the Bobcats and the Coyote lines, and I'll tell you what, he knows his stuff. And there's 3 locations of Berry Equipment and Rental. They have the equipment for you to get any job done right. And Berry Equipment and Rental on Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, South Lincoln and Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Don't forget, stop in. The best is now even better. Berry Equipment and Rental, Twin Falls, Jerome, and Burley, with all the equipment you need for the job that has to get done. Do you realize that ISIS is now controlling over 1/2 of Syria? 1/2 of Syria. And almost, if not all, of Iraq. And spreading all over the world, clear to the Philippines. And this administration, it blows my mind. This administration is not doing or saying or calling it what it is. They're not doing a thing. And yesterday, I was absolutely in a state of shock when President Obama, and I use the term loosely, was speaking to the Coast Guard Academy graduation. And he came right out and said in his speech, if you haven't caught the remark, it was, and I'm paraphrasing it, that the greatest and biggest fear to our military is climate change. Here we have the spread of terrorism going all across the world with ISIS and Al-Qaeda, and the blatant threats that the lone wolves are already here in our country, and the many, many faceted attacks that they would like to perform, and the president stands up there and tells the Coast Guard graduates climate change, global warming are the biggest threats to our military and our lifestyle. Now, you've got to help me on that one. I can't understand why this president is so naive, so backward in his thinking, which I don't think he is. I think it's all a planned approach. What is going on here when we have people that are trying to kill us and everybody else in the world if we don't adhere to their philosophy and ideology? Give me a call, please. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, cancer is absolutely devastating. And on any given day, the American Cancer Society will provide more than 1,500 people a day with cancer-related information and programs. And it's just so devastating. Cancer never sleeps. And we have to defeat that dreaded disease. That's why I urge you to be a part of the Mini-Cassia Relay for Life. And that's going to be on June 19th and 20th at the Cassia County Fairgrounds, starting at 6 p.m. on Friday night the 19th with the opening ceremonies. Trying to garner more funds for the cancer research. Mini-Cassia Relay for Life coming up at the Cassia County Fairgrounds on June 19 and 20. All right, give us a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think about President Obama? And he has said it many, many times in front of other groups, but saying that the biggest fear right now is climate change. And he told the Coast Guard Academy cadets and their families that focusing on climate change and the risk of global warming, it poses a huge global threat to national security, causing instability and unrest. Your thoughts, please give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Unbelievable. Let's see what else. Baltimore is going nuts ever since they had the riots. This is really, really dangerous right now in Baltimore. 37 homicides in less than 30 days. The city is being burned. The city is being shot at, all because of absolutely no leadership. And this is going to spread into other communities. And there was a very, very interesting statement that was made by Kevin Jackson, head executive director of what's called the Black Sphere. And this black man, Kevin Jackson, said this quote, "Black Democrats have put everyone at risk." Let me repeat that. Black Democrats have put everyone at risk. The city is in turmoil. The city has no leadership. The city has a absolutely tipped upside down prosecuting attorney. And this whole thing is coming apart at the seams. Baltimore, unfortunately, is in a complete state of unrest and turmoil, thanks to a complete lack of leadership with the black Democrats that are in charge. Give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Every Tuesday, right here on Zeb at the Ranch, we are very, very blessed to have Dr. History at 10:06, and it's brought to you by Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley. They've got everything for your building and spring remodeling needs. That's right, everything for your redoing your roof. They've got all the shingles. They've got everything. And also they can upgrade your windows so you're much more energy efficient and save on your heating and cooling bills. And don't forget, too, they've got all the Tartar Farm and Ranch equipment, too. Holy cow, Zack Attack and the gang over at Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main in Burley, right across from the airport. Number to call, 878-2091. Wheels, did you send the cow over to me? I thought I heard it. Did I hear a cow?
No, but there's a caller right now.
Oh, well, that's pretty good guessing, I would say. All right. Let's get that caller on right now and say good morning to this person. How you doing? You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Well, thank you for talking to me, Zeb.
All right, my friend. What can I do for you?
Look forward to seeing you today, if it's possible.
Well, we're going to be, unless your eyes are closed, I'm going to be there.
Okay. You know, I was talking to my wife's in the hospital down in Utah the other day, and I was talking to this young man who is in the Army Reserve, and he was telling me some things that I did not know, that people, the upper echelon, which is Obama, I guess, are trying to get these people to retire before they reach their 20 years. They're trying everything to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said now they're going to come out with a plan where you can have a 401k or something like that. That, you know, if you decide to get out at 10 years or they kick you out or whatever,
yeah,
that you would have this type of retirement. What are your thoughts on that?
To be honest with you, and I never, ever make a statement on this program that I can't verify. And if I don't know all the information about a subject, I will say I will get the information. I don't know about the pushing or prodding of people to take an early retirement. I don't know all of that story, but I will find out. I was taking notes as you were speaking. But in a related subject, I can tell you about the Veterans Administration, and they had had vowed to clean up the mess with the VA, Keith. Remember about a year ago, it was just absolute anarchy across the country. A lot of people were saying that they were put on hold for 3, 4, 5 months at a time, not getting their benefits, not getting in to see a doctor. Well, it came out yesterday the VA has only had one firing of one person that was involved in all this mess. With all the others, what is going on that the government, our government, can't clean up the VA? I don't know, but I will find out on the other part of the story, that you were referring to. So I'll check on it, and I'll have it on the air next week.
Well, it seems to me like he's coming right from the top. Let's take Lois Lerner, for instance, on the IRS deal. There she's on full administrative leave, been there for over a year now, and she never has been fired. And President Obama holds all the cards.
That is absolutely pathetic to me, and I've said many times on this program that Lois Lerner should be doing nothing more than sending job applications out to Kmart. I absolutely have no use for the woman. And, Keith, I'll check on that. I hope to see you at Lunch Bunch. We'll talk about it further. Thank you so much.
You bet. Bye-bye.
God bless. Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, just a little expansion on that issue. These VA employees, and we understood all of the terrible things that were happening to these soldiers who come home and maimed, and does anybody? You might understand because you've been through a lot with your health and your body, what it's like to miss a limb, or to come home with your part of your skull blown away, and or your loss of vision, or just the terrible things that have happened to these people that took the oath, the same one that miserable thing took too, and they come home and the VA doesn't take care of them. Well, they were supposed to have fired 900 of these employees that work for the VA. Well, it turns out, like you just got to saying, in the end, after they told us they fired 900 of them, in the end, they only fired 3.
Randy, I got to tell you something, and it goes back to what I was relating to earlier this morning when I signed on. Yesterday, going up to Bellevue and being a part of the military veterans ranch rodeo they put on in honor of some that had come back from the war with some devastating injuries and PTSD, etc. And I stood there and I watched and I listened and I was a part of the whole ceremony yesterday, and it just broke my heart to think that these young men and women put their lives and bodies on the line for your freedom and my freedom, and they came home and they are absolutely having to pull all the strings and open all the doors trying to get the benefits that were afforded to them in the first place, and I'm fighting mad. I will do anything I can to support our veterans and our military, and I will do anything I can to help jostle the mainstay of the Veterans Administration to help them. It was absolutely a heartwarming experience yesterday, but it brought to mind how they are being, in many cases, mistreated or untreated.
Right. One more quick thing, because I know you got to go. There was a report of 1,580 IRS agents who literally were not filing their taxes, lying on their taxes.
Yep.
And all these things, stuff that gets you and I in deep trouble. Well, after they got through, lots of them got promotions, raises. This is the kind of thing that is going on, and we all know it. But you see to yourself, this is such an unfair situation to the working public who work hard every day to raise a family, pay the bills, pay the IRS. I tell you, a year and a half more of this lousy administration, and I'm telling you, fed up.
I can't argue one single point, Randy. I think all Americans should be outraged, first of all, for the stupidity of not only once putting him in office, but the second time. And this man and his pen and his phone are going to wreak a lot more problems and hazards for all of us in this country. God bless you, Randy. I appreciate it. Thank you. We got to get the Capitol Press on here real quick, and the Capitol Press is brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Christine Pickup, what a wonderful lady. Very, very nice doctor of audiology. And, of course, Mount Harrison Audiology right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. You call for a hearing screening. Absolutely. 312-0957. 312-0957. I took a hearing screening, found out I had a few problems, and I'll tell you what, May is Better Speech and Hearing Month, and you should get a hearing screening today. 312-0957. Right now, here is the Capitol Press Ag Minute.
Today's Ag Minute brought to you by the Capitol Press, the West Ag Weekly.
The Organic Trade Association has petitioned the USDA for a national checkoff program, which would raise an estimated $30 million a year for research and promotion. The proposal has been 3 years in the making. The checkoff would focus on research to support organic production and grow the industry and communicate the value of organic agriculture to consumers. Widespread support exists for much-needed research, both in plant breeding and addressing the pests and disease. But many organic producers mistrust government runoff checkoff programs, and some question the need for promotion. Organic sales in the U.S. have grown from $10 billion in 2003 to $39.1 billion in 2014. For the Capitol Press Ag Minute, this is Raul Peña.
For more agriculture news and information, turn to the West Ag Weekly, the Capitol Press, and CapitolPress.com.
Oh, Raul, I wasn't sure he was going to make it through that report. Anyhow, brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And, of course, the lovely lady, Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology. And the number to call for a hearing screening and find out about your hearing and the potentiality of having help with hearing aids is 312-0957. All right, give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give us a jingle. I'd like to hear from you. Come on, give us a call. And what are your thoughts? Senator Rand Paul last night stood on the Senate floor in the Senate chambers, and some don't call it a filibuster. I will call it a filibuster. He stood there for 11 hours last night and basically came out in condemnation of the National Security Administration, spying on you and me. Now, just think about this. It's not a secret that the NSA is spying on you and me. It's not a secret that they're listening into this radio program right now. It's not a secret that they can listen in on our phone conversations. It's not a secret that they can find any and all information out about us that they want, and they can observe any and all of us anytime they want. But we're not the bad guys. But Rand Paul's attitude last night, and I'm kind of torn. I agree with him in some respects, but then I think also we need to have as much surveillance on the bad guys as possible, emphasis on the bad guys. But he said, too, you know, honest, God-fearing Americans are being put through the ringer and being listened to. They're being taped. Everything is known about them. Why, in a free society, are we allowing that to happen? There are plenty of bad guys that they can be monitoring. There are plenty of bad motives behind the scenes right now that are going out to hurt and kill and cripple Americans and our society. And I just wonder why we as a free society are allowing us. You haven't done anything except go to the grocery store. Maybe you had a speeding ticket when you were 19 years of age. Why monitor all of us and treat us in the same vein as the bad guys? What are your thoughts about the NSA and everything you do, everything you say, everywhere you go? They know. They know. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, I also want to remind you about Streamline Precision, and they build anything and everything. All you have to do is call Tim Vaughn at 431-7314. That number again, 431-7314. Streamline Precision, a family of companies providing construction, excavation, and fabrication services. And, man, they are building so much as far as on-the-farm grain bin storage, and they're an authorized dealer in Sioux Cup, Chief Balin, and Nucor buildings. And as I have said many, many times, they will always work with you, the client, on a coordinated, accurate, confidential, and consistent timeline to finish it when you need the job done. So please call Tim today at 431-7314. Streamline Precision, the professionals building for you. All right, come on, give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I got to ask you this question this morning. Have you ever gone, and I'm not trying to get personal with anybody, I'm just going to ask you this question. Have you ever gone into a restroom that has like 4, 5, 6 sinks, and the faucets are all automatic? You know, you stick your hands underneath the faucet and the water comes on, take your hand away, the water goes off, or it stays on for a certain period of time. Have you ever had, like the TV commercial that's going on right now for Motel 6? They show the guy going in to wash his hands, and it doesn't work. He holds his hands under the faucet, and the water doesn't come on, so he moves to the next sink to see if that's going to work. And when he puts his hands underneath that faucet, the one that he was at previously comes on. That happened to me just the other day, and I'd like to know how many other people that's happened to. I was at the hospital, and I walked into the restroom, and I washed my hands, and I couldn't get the water to go. Excuse me. But the sink next to me that I had just tried, when I put my hands underneath the other one, it came on. What's going on here? I think inventions, new innovative inventions, are out to get us. Look out. Crazy. Somebody told me one time that if you stand directly in front of those faucets, and I always have one of my rodeo belt buckles on, they said that will have a deflection so that it won't generate the start of the water. How that works, I have no clue. But anyway, the water didn't turn on in the sink I was using, but it went on in the one I was just previously at. So same thing happened in the TV commercial. Give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to hear your opinion on this thing. So give us a call right now, please. Also, this is another story of an Illinois teacher has been placed on leave for stomping on the American flag in front of the class. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
About your faucet problem.
Okay, quickly, go ahead.
The problem that you have there is that there's no control over the temperature. I've held my hands under there for some time, and it was cold all the time. So you got a problem there, too.
You mean it doesn't go to hot water?
No.
Oh.
It stays cold.
Well, what is it? You're probably a lot smarter on the mechanization of these things. What is it that triggers it? How does it trigger, and why doesn't it trigger it?
I don't really know. It really ought to be on candid camera, because to watch people go there, and I've just stood back because when one didn't work right, I'd wait for somebody else to step up and try it. And some of the frustration, they start hitting it with their fingers and tapping on it.
Oh, I got to be honest with you, Keith, I did that. I kind of beat on the faucet a little bit and everything, and I couldn't get it to go. And then I moved to the next one, and I stood there for a moment, and the one that I was at previously came on.
Well, maybe it had enough.
I guess. All right, God bless you, man. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
You haven't figured it out that you and automation just don't go together?
Careful where you go, neighbor.
I'm getting to know you a little bit more and more, and there's certain things that just don't work.
It's not me, Jeff. They wouldn't have spent the time in making a television commercial mocking those kind of faucets if it wasn't happening to a lot of people. Honestly, has it ever happened to you?
Yeah, it has. It's like, you wave your hand underneath that one towel dispenser, and it shoots out this little bitty piece of paper.
Yeah.
And you got to wait for it to reset, and you got to do it again, and then you got to do it again. You're in there longer than you came in for in the first place.
Oh my gosh, yes. And what drove me nuts that night, I waited for the water to come on. I waited for the water to come on, and I moved to the next sink, just like in that TV commercial, put my hands underneath the faucet, and the one that I had been at previously, the water came on. So what's going on here, Mr. Kilt Man?
I don't know. My nation's pretty nice to a point, but it's like I tell everybody, you and I grew up, we had, soap and water and everything else. You went into the restroom or something like that, there was a bar of soap there that you had to use, or the old borax dispenser.
Yep.
And, we came out all right. What are these people all afraid of, or are they just, I don't know, too lazy? That's what I think. I think they're just too lazy.
I think that our hygiene in this country has gone down because of some of these innovative ideas. I think, like me, I was disgusted. I couldn't get the water to run, and, of course, I was very patient because I wanted to wash my hands off. But I think most people would have said, to heck with it, and walked out. And I think sometimes going back to the old way might be hygienically better for all of us.
Oh, I agree. And I think there's too many people that are getting too nitpicky about everything.
Yeah.
That it's actually ruined our lifestyles.
But I want to know how come there's triggering devices, and I've had guys tell me, well, it was your crutches, the metal in front of that, it wouldn't start, it was your belt buckle, it reflected it, and so the water wouldn't start. I've had all kinds of reasons, but if it's not happening to other people that don't wear a belt buckle or are not on crutches, what about the guy in the TV commercial? The same thing happened to him.
Who knows? Everybody's got their theories and stuff like that, and the only one that could really tell you is probably the one that designed the stupid thing.
Yeah.
I think they ought to take him out and put him in the woods and say, here, go for it.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of those type of things. I know they're trying to save water, and God bless them, we all need to save water in this day and age. I know that we had a show on yesterday, a segment on the show with Bert Stevenson about, we've got to be more water conscious because, quite frankly, this area is in a drought. But I'm not so sure that those things that aren't giving you any water are doing the job.
Well, my lovely wife just told me, she says, what you got to do is you got to put your finger right up there and touch the sensor to get it to work sometimes.
Oh, be it to Lori to be so sensible.
I know. She is what she is, and that's why I am the way I am.
Okay, thanks. Kilt Man, appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Caller, quickly, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, just a quick note on this faucet deal again. What if you want to wash your face?
I hadn't thought about that.
Get a little bit of water, and you almost get up to your face, and the water goes off. And what do you do there? I
don't know. I guess you take a wash rag and a little bottle of water, and you do it outside in your pickup truck or your car. I have no idea. Thanks, Keith. God bless you, man. Thanks.
It's an interesting thing.
It is. It's just one of the quandaries we have in life that I haven't quite figured out yet. Calls welcome. I appreciate it, Keith. I got to get to the weather, my friend. Thank you. I got to get the weather in real quick, and then we'll take some more calls. And the weather this hour is brought to you by Ramsey Heating and Electric with Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, an air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. All you have to do is call them at 678-0459, and Ramsey Heating and Electric can provide warm winters and cool summers with Lennox. And right now, here's Michael Rogers' weather.
Hello, everyone.
31, Michael Rogers with Zeb at the Ranch. As far as your weather is concerned, no change. You possibly will not see the sun until possibly next Tuesday. Difference in the weather for today versus yesterday is that the temperatures are going to be warmer. So you're looking for daytime highs in the low 70s, 68 when you get toward the weekend. But other than that, the rain still continues. No warnings or flood warnings or flash flood warnings are out. It's just basically a spring rain shower all the way through the weekend in the Magic Valley. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you've got.
Yeah, okay, Michael, thank you. Brought to you by Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox Home Comfort Systems. At Ramsey's, they provide warm winters and cool summers. 678-0459. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I need to ask, what other great mechanical type things have gone awry that you have tried other than those sinks, where you put your hands underneath? You soap up your hands and you stand there and put your hands under the sink for water. Nothing happens. Nothing. And there you stand with your hands all full of soap, and you're a guy like me on crutches. Now, you do not take your hands and put them on the handles of your crutches unless you want to swoop right off the handles. So you're in a real precarious position right there, waiting for the water. Please, Lord, give me water. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Oh, boy, I can't wait to hear what you've got to say.
Well, you want to know, some of these places you go into, the urinals are clear down to your ankles, so you got to have a hell of a good target to shoot at. You know what I mean?
Al, sometimes you amaze me as to how you can change the subject into an area that really I don't want to go.
Okay, but that's the truth, and you just look around to see how I'm right.
We have got into the plumbing business this morning, and I'm probably going to get in trouble.
It's just like you and your lawnmower. You ain't learned to operate the faucet yet.
Well, I wouldn't say too much there. Somebody with a big butt opened the door at Denny's one time and set off the alarms, and it wasn't me.
At least I woke him up.
You did.
Okay, have a good one.
All right, Al, thank you. Oh, how come, Wheels, I'm hearing a phone ring instead of the cow? Is there a mic open over there, or what? Why am I hearing the phone ring in the background?
I do not know.
Because I'm hearing the phone ring and I'm hearing you talk, so maybe the mic switch isn't off all the way. You might want to check on that. Do we have another call?
No, we do not.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a false alarm then. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Wouldn't you like to meet the guy that designed those kind of faucets, or anything that doesn't work as it's purported to work? And wouldn't you like to visit with them? And they've become millionaires, multi-millionaires. And we're standing there with soap all over our hands. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Oh, I'm pretty high on these folks. Nick Greenwell and the rest of his staff. I mean, Jordan Anderson, Jeff Jensen, the list goes on and on and on. These are people you can really trust. Always for the best of sports medicine, all the great exercises, the hydrotherapy pool with the treadmill, all this helping you get back to being and feeling like you. Please give them a call today. 98% of their referrals are from doctor referrals for people that need help to get back to feeling themselves. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. The number to call for an appointment, 678-1191. That number again, 678-1191. Excellent, folks. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Let's see, what else have we got here? The teacher in Illinois is on leave for stomping on the American flag in front of the entire class. This is unbelievable. High school teacher in rural central Illinois is under investigation and has been placed on administrative leave after the teacher allegedly threw an American flag on the floor and stomped on it in front of a class full of students last week. The unidentified taxpayer-funded teachers' motivations aren't entirely clear, they say. But students say he got mad, he was using the American flag as a pointer, and when a student suggested that this use of the Old Glory could be viewed as disrespectful, the teacher got really upset at the students and the circumstances and dropped the flag on the floor and intentionally stepped on it right in front of the students. It's disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. And these kinds of teachers are teaching our students, teaching in America, the greatest land ever in the history of the world. And this dimwit that should be fired, not just on leave, stomps on the American flag. It's bad enough that a couple of weeks ago, a very fat black woman was doing a dance on the American flag, and it would be nice to know a little background on some of these people and find out if they're welfare recipients, if they have a job, if they're tax-paying, respectable citizens in the community. I'd like to know more background on these people. But to have a teacher stand up in front of a class and use the flag as a pointer, which is disrespectful. The student was right. And then when the student questioned it, throw it on the floor and stomp on it after he lost his temper at the student, he should be fired. What are your thoughts? Give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call that's coming in, I'll tell everybody about our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Don't forget, ready for summer travel? Well, you should be. And they have a free pre-trip safety check. It's a dandy right there at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They will have tire inspection, tire pressure check, and visual inspection of the front end components. They'll check out visual inspection of the brake components and everything, visual battery inspection and everything, and more to make sure that you're ready for summer travel. So you stop into any one of the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, not only tires, but also your safe driving. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see them today. Okay? What are your thoughts on a teacher that would stand up in front of the classroom and take the flag and stomp on it in front of the class? A lot of the veterans in that area absolutely came to the forefront and said it's totally disgraceful, and they picketed the school, as they should have. And the school district superintendent, Jill Rogers, said that as of this week, Monday morning, they have placed the teacher on leave pending an investigation into the incident. And hopefully they will fire him. Calls are welcome. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Once again, I got to get this on here real quick. This is really important because we're coming into a time when a lot of folks are going to be using their ATVs. Hopefully, if the BLM doesn't close down more ground. On Saturday, May 30th, the Minidoka County Sheriff's Office will be having a responsible rider course for all ATV users. It's going to be over at Let's Ride, right there on Highway 24 between Rupert and Hayburn. The time is going to be 9 o'clock in the morning until 12 noon, and pre-registration is required. Now, responsible rider course. I can tell you that I've had my ATVs now for 5 years, and you need to know a lot of things that maybe you think you know but you don't. Okay, so check out this responsible rider course for ATV users and register online at www.parksandrecreation.idaho.gov. And I understand that Chief Deputy Dave Pinther and Corporal Richard Coyle are going to be putting on this seminar, and that's going to be at Let's Ride on May 30th, so you try to be there, okay? Give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I have no idea my cell phone's ringing. I got a duck quack on my cell phone, and I was so blessed. You know, I carry my cell phone in my pocket, and last Sunday at church, I had forgotten to take my cell phone out of my pocket. And right during the sermon, I felt the vibration just a little bit before the duck quack went off and managed to reach into my pocket and shut it down between words of the sermon. Oh, that was close. And then I've got a ring on my phone that starts the race, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. When I get a text message or something, holy smokes, that'll wake the dead. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Lunch bunch today at, of course, our dear friends at Denny's Restaurant. At 611 Overland in Burley. Thanks to Wheels, we're going to jump out of here maybe about 10 minutes early, jump in the old pick-em-up truck and get over to Denny's so we can start right at 11:30. We got a lot of door prizes from Smith's Food King, Walmart, Hanson Mortuary, and others, including Denny's. So everybody try to be there and enjoy our lunch bunch today at Denny's Restaurant. We're going to take a little break and come back with Kay Cameron with the Chamber of Commerce and a lot of other goodies. Don't go away, Zeb at the Ranch. We'll be back in 6 minutes. Oh, my good morning. Welcome back. Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And we say thank you very much also to some of our advertisers like Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley and Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. We're going to have our guest with us in just a moment. Stay tuned. And right now we want to say thank you very much to Joel Heward. Absolutely a big thank you. That man and his staff and his family are absolutely phenomenal to work with. And Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert are there to serve you. You know, I've said this so many times, but when there's the passing of a loved one, everything stops. I mean, you don't know where to go, you don't know who to talk to, you don't know what has to get done. Let them help. They always work with you, upholding the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary. So please call them today. Get more information at 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, serving you. Thank you. Relay for Life is coming up on June the 19th and 20th at the Cassia County Fairgrounds, and it's the Mini-Cassia Relay for Life. And it's just so important that we get behind and support the Relay for Life and trying to garner funds to help fight dreaded cancer on any given day in the United States. More than, and this just amazes and astounds me and scares me. On any given day in the United States, more than 4,100 people will hear the devastating words, "You have cancer." And so let's help all we can for cancer research by supporting the Mini-Cassia Relay for Life on June 19 and 20 at the Cassia County Fairgrounds. Thank you. Right now, let's go to the phone line. And we are very, very blessed to have with us the lovely Kay Cameron. And good morning, Kay. How are you at the Chamber of Commerce?
Good morning.
I am good. I can barely hear you, so Wheels, turn her up a little bit, please. Kay, good to have you on the show.
Well, it's good to be here. Can you hear me a little better now?
Much better. Thank you.
Very good. All I have to say is waking up this morning and seeing a little sunshine was soothing to my soul.
Yeah, and besides that, it helped dry things out.
Exactly. It's a muddy mess. I coached T-ball in the rain last night. The boys were super fabulous. They didn't complain at all. They were great, but it's nice to have a little break from the rain. But I'll tell you what, there really is a need for the moisture, but we do need to dry out a little bit. But it is good to have some moisture.
Yeah, but you take an old fat cowboy like me on crutches and you put me out in the feedlot with the rather deep mud and the puddles, I might never get back in the house.
Yes, you certainly want to wear some mud boots that go up to your thighs.
Oh, amen.
Make your way through.
Okay, well, listen, I'm going to redress myself, and while I'm doing that, you can tell us what's going on at the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, I mean, talking about this moisture and this rain just reminds me of something. We had an ag meeting last month, and we talked about water issues, and we've had a couple of them with our ag committee, and anybody who wants to join us is always welcome. But talking about the litigation that's going on with the water, and our valley here, the water is the lifeblood, and it's so wonderful that we have people that are willing to work hard to come to a resolution that can still make things feasible for the water usage in the appropriate terms. And it is something that is definitely on our radar and that we are paying attention to, because if they are to shut off and curtail all the water, we've got real problems here in the Mini-Cassia area as well as all the Magic Valley.
Absolutely.
So it is an issue that we do pay attention to. This next week, I know they've got the grand opening, or ceremonial grand opening for the spillway at Minidoka Dam, which is, the Minidoka Dam is obviously very important to the water here in our community, and so we look forward to being able to go out there and celebrate with them. And we just are thankful for everything that we have here in the Mini-Cassia area, and we're thankful for all the farmers that produce food for the world to eat.
Absolutely. And right now, with this water, with this added moisture, crops are really poking through the ground and looking really, really good. I hope it's an abundant harvest for everyone.
Absolutely. The other day I drove by a field and it was full of all these potato plants, and they weren't just teeny tiny, and I thought, well, where did those come from? I don't remember seeing those yesterday, but they were probably there. But yeah, you're starting to see rows down the fields, and it's great.
Well, what else is going on that people should be aware of and people should put on their calendars as far as the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I mean, the Chamber, there's a lot of things going on in our community, and go to our community calendar, but we have high school graduations coming up next week. I want to say congratulations to all of the graduates in the Mini-Cassia area. Everybody, please be safe. Just be cautious. I saw a video clip this morning early on texting and driving.
Oh, boy.
And nobody out there, please, please, please do not text and drive. It only takes a second. As you look away, you might not even be typing. You might just be looking at a message. And we just want everybody to be safe. So keep those cell phones out of reach where you can't see them. I know I've tried to make a habit of just stashing it away. But it's so easy when you hear that ding to just look away, and that's all it takes is just 1 second looking away. So everybody, please be safe. Don't text and drive. Be safe, graduates, and congratulations, and best luck for whatever comes your way in the future. And we're just very proud of the Mini-Cassia community.
Now, Kay, one of the things that we should mention for this weekend, Memorial Day is a little bit early. It kind of blew my mind a little bit looking at the calendar, because we always kind of associate Memorial Day with like the last of May, 1st of June. It's not going to be that way. It's this weekend, and we want everybody to drive safely.
Absolutely. Be safe. Drive careful. Pay respect to those loved ones. That's always one of my favorite things to do on Monday, is to go to the cemetery and make sure things are stiffed up. And I take my kids and we take flowers and pay respect to those that have gone before us.
Absolutely. For some reason, I'm barely able to hear you this morning. I don't know if it's our phone lines or what, but maybe I can get Wheels to turn you up a little bit or whatever. Any final thoughts as we look at going into next week? Anything coming up? I know the regatta's in not too many weeks. What else is happening?
Yeah, the regatta's coming up in not too many weeks. There's a fun run, the Kiwanis Kids Fun Run, which is a great fundraiser for kids. The Kiwanis does a lot of programs for kids. There's Free Fishing Day coming up in June, and motocross races and tractor shows and Relay for Life, which I heard you talking about in your promo. There's a music festival coming up in June, and patriotic programs and all kinds of stuff.
Okay. All right. Now, fishing. Are you a fisher person?
I do like to fish, but I don't really so much like to bait my hook or have to take the fish off the hook.
An old farm girl like you, and you don't bait your own hook? What in the world is the matter with the world today?
I don't know, but I do enjoy fishing. But I'll tell you what, I haven't been out with my kids fishing, but my husband's taken them down to the river twice to go bass fishing because we live fairly close to the river. And my daughter is the only one who's caught any. She's like a super fisher.
All right, well,
she's like a superstar, and she caught a really big one her first time out. So,
well, congratulations to her. Maybe she could give me some lessons. I'm the worst fisherman in the entire universe. Anyway, I want everybody to stop by a wonderful office, and you have a gift shop over there that is second to none at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Tell everybody where you're located, about some of the specialty items in the gift shop, and how they can get a hold of you, please.
Yeah, we're located in Heyburn at 1177 7th Street. We're right on the beautiful Snake River. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us online at minicassiachamber.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Very well done, and I wish you and your family a very, very nice, safe, and fun-filled Memorial Day weekend. Thank you very much.
You too.
All right, God bless. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Kay Cameron with the Chamber of Commerce, and I always look forward to having her on my program. Thank you very much, and calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's not forget our friends at Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, right next to Dot Foods. You can call Tim Vaughn at 431-7314. You can call him today, as a matter of fact, for estimates right this minute. And as I keep telling you, they have vast experience in industrial development that includes dairies and feedlots and food processing and other agricultural applications. Streamline Precision is a family of companies providing construction, excavation, and fabrication services. So please get a hold of them right now today. The number, 431-7314. Tim Vaughn at Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. They are the professionals building for you. You give them a call. Let's see, what else have I got? Now, I don't know what Dave Zanino is going to do on this, but as you well know, last evening was supposed to be the start of the Summer Series team roping at the Jerome County Fairgrounds, and they had water everywhere. It looked like a lake out there in the arena, and I will keep you posted. I've had quite a few people call me and ask, well, when are they going to have the postponed team rope? And I don't know. I'm assuming that the series will start next Wednesday, and they'll try to implement that other roping they missed into the schedule, but I will let you know. So once again, the Summer Series team roping over at the Jerome County Fairgrounds canceled last night due to extreme moisture, and Dave will call us, and we'll have him on the air this next week and let us know. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And while we have just a minute, I want to remind you about our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more. They work for you. They serve you. Dean Cameron, Todd Siemens. Very accessible and devoted to helping you with your insurance program. I just told you what they can do for you. You give them a call. Call for an appointment at 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance in Rupert. Oh, by the way, if you're going to be over there on Highway 24, you might as well just stop in and get your checkbook out and treat yourself to some fun, because that's where the fun is sold. Let's ride Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. My, oh my, they've got all the ATVs. You know, they have got ATVs all over the place. You walk in that showroom, they got them in all the colors, all the different sizes, excuse me, and you will find just what you're looking for. And right now, with the warmer temperatures, you can depend on, they've got all the watercraft. Oh my, lots of watercraft. So get in there and enjoy life. And by the way, too, maybe they got something for a sore throat. By the way, too, don't forget they've got a fantastic service department. So you stop over today to Let's Ride 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley, where the fun is sold. Really good, folks. In just a moment, we are going to go to Dog Nation, so stand by. That's coming up in just a couple of seconds, as a matter of fact. But I want to remind you again that we're going to have Lunch Bunch today, and Lunch Bunch is going to be at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, and we're going to scoot out of here just maybe a few minutes early and jump in the old pickup truck and be there at 11:30 for Lunch Bunch at Denny's. We invite you to come on down and say howdy and be a part of our festivities, and we're going to have, thanks to Smith's Food King, Walmart, and Hanson Mortuary, a lot of the door prizes, and, of course, also Denny's Restaurant. We thank them very much. Denny's Restaurant and Zeb's Lunch Bunch today at 11:30. Where did all these dogs come from anyway? Holy moly, we got dogs all over the place. Woo, my goodness sakes. Hello, Officer Ken Mort. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Zeb. How are you?
Well, not too bad. Now, tell us what's going on in the world of canines.
Well, I don't have anybody to feature today, but I do want to talk about the article that was in the paper last week, and also came out in the local voice around here yesterday.
I've got it right here in my hot little hand.
We have gotten a lot of response off of that article, and I want to thank everybody that has contacted us. And I also wanted to put out that if anybody is actually wanting to check out the new facility and at what we're doing and what we're still trying to do, they can actually get a hold of me at 670-7268, and I will be more than willing to take them out there and show them what we've done and show them and stuff and that what we're still needing to do kennel wise, and show them what the kennels that we're purchasing are going or look like, so that they've got an idea of what we're doing, and showing them how much of a better facility and stuff and that it's going to be than what we currently have.
Wow. I mean, you really summed it up right there. You are going to turn into a tour guide if they would like to tour the facility, and you just want to talk to them, show them, and explain how valuable it is.
Yes, and I mean, I've got a gentleman that's going to get a hold of me later today that wants to come over, and he said when he comes over to check it out, him and his wife are planning on handing me a $400 check to purchase one of the kennels.
Oh, my.
And that, matter of fact, last week we had an individual contact me from Twin Falls and got our mailing address and sent us a $400 check for purchasing a kennel. So, I mean, it's starting to pan out for us, and we're working diligently to continue on with these efforts.
Well, you know, all of that is really great, and what you're doing is really great, but still it goes back to people that have unwanted pets, just letting them go. It really bothers me that has to happen at all. Ken, it's something that I can't get it out of my mind, especially when I see some of the TV commercials with their sad, forlorn looks on their face. It's too bad human beings, they just can't take better care of their animals.
It is. I mean, and I can understand some of the situations, like when people are moving and everything, and where they're winding up moving to, they won't allow pets. on that. I mean, because there's a lot of places now that if you're wanting to rent because you can't afford to buy yet, there's a lot of places out there that will not allow pets, and if you've got pets, you're kind of in a pickle. So they turn around and they wind up surrendering them to us, which we turn around and find loving homes for them.
Okay.
And I mean, and there's those situations. The one situation that really irks me a lot is people that will take their pets out and just dump them out in the country because they don't want to take them to the facility because they're afraid that they're going to get put down. I want to reiterate that we don't put anything down unless it's extremely ill, extremely injured, or vicious.
Now, let me interrupt right there and ask you a question. Is there, and I hope there is a law or a fine if those people their license plate number is taken or whatever? Is there some way the law can step in and get those people?
Yes, there is. Matter of fact, the state of Idaho has a law. I don't remember exactly which code it is, but it falls under the animal cruelty laws. If you basically, it's to sum it up, if you take a dog out and dump it and that without ensuring that it has proper care, necessities and stuff like that, it is against the law. I mean, and unfortunately, the first offense is just a misdemeanor. And the second offense turns around and is a misdemeanor as well, but the third offense can turn around and be considered a felony.
Okay, now, I got to tell you, this has happened to us at least 3 or 4 times, and the inhumanity of these people to drive down a busy highway, open the door, and literally push in this last case, mother and the pups out in the middle of the highway and then drive off. Honestly, there is no beating severe enough for those people.
I totally agree. I mean, if you're going to take the time to load them up and take them out somewhere, take them to your local shelter, and that give the dogs a fighting chance. Because when you dump them out, or I mean, even cats or anything like that, when you dump them out in the country and have to fend for themselves, they're not used to having to fend for themselves. They're used to somebody providing for them. And so they don't have that natural instinct of the wild animals do not kick in on them, so they wind up starving to death and dying.
Yeah, and a strange environment. They absolutely have no clue where they are, and there they are on a highway or on the roadside, and oh man, it just drives me nuts to think about those sad eyes like, where did my owner go and why am I here?
Exactly, and then to top it off, I mean, they get that thought in their head that I was just dumped, now I can't trust humans, so that when somebody does come along that wants to rescue them and take them in and provide for them, they can't catch them because they're too afraid and stuffing out of the human race again. Yeah.
Well, have you got anything to feature this week?
Not really. I do know and stuff, and we've got a gentleman that is bringing in 3 dogs on that this morning. He did tell me that they are Beagle Heeler crosses. They're just, he's having issues and stuff and is unable to provide for them and wanted to give them a fighting chance. So he was bringing them over to our facility. So if there's anybody out there that is interested in a Beagle Heeler cross.
Wait a minute. A Beagle Heeler cross.
Yep.
So what they do is they run up behind a cow and they go, oh, whoa! And then they bite them.
Pretty much. I mean, he said he was trying to work with them because beagles are actually good varmint hunting or dogs.
Yeah.
But he said the healer side of them actually took over and wouldn't really do much of actually chasing after rabbits or anything like that.
Yeah.
I figured it'll probably make good cattle dogs or sheep dogs or something like that for herding if they were able to be worked with properly.
Well, did they have the long floppy ears?
I haven't got to see him yet. When I left to head over here, he hadn't showed up yet. But if we've still got him it'll be 2 weeks. On that, I'll definitely let you know what they had.
Yeah, go to the studio, hold one up by the microphone so we can see it.
There we go.
Anything else, Ken? I got 1 minute left.
No, not really. Just if you're interested in donating to the facility and stuff and that, please get a hold of us at 438-2200 or contact me on my cell phone at 670-7268. And I also wanted to put out there that I am heading over to one of our most favorite people's houses a little later today, Mr. Russell Smith, who actually stepped up and is donating a box of toys for our furry friends over there at the facility. He wanted to do a little something. And then I've got another lady that I'm going over to her place. She's actually going to be donating some bedding and some dog coats and some towels and stuff like that for us. So all those things are really appreciated and we need. And if you got any extra stuff out there from when you've had your yard sales that didn't sell, especially the bedding side of the stuff and old towels, we could definitely use them.
You know, a lot is to be said for what you've done. A great job, Ken Mort, Officer Ken Mort with Minidoka Animal Control. Ken, God bless you, man. Talk to you next week.
Actually, I won't be here next week. I've got that prior engagement and that, but I'll get something in here for Wills to be able to talk about.
All right. Well, like I said, Ken, we won't see you next week, but we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Take care. Who let all these dogs out anyway? Minidoka Animal Control, Officer Ken Mort, and he does a wonderful, wonderful job. Hey, by the way, I know somebody else that does a wonderful, wonderful job, and that's Jack Bates, owner-manager of Duck Ugly. Oh, man, it is so good. I mean, the food is so good. He takes great pride in every single order that's put out there. They're serving breakfast now, Monday through Friday from 6 to 11. And then on Friday and Saturday nights, smoked barbecued ribs. Oh, along with all the other great menu choices. They start those barbecued ribs at 6 p.m. And great entertainment like with Barton and Bowler. Those guys are fantabulous. Ned Carter, D. Yeaman, oh my, music every night. It's great, great entertainment and great food. You stop in, Duck Ugly's 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. I know you're going to have a great time and a great meal. Don't forget to Ramsey Heating and Electric and rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, an air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort as Lennox through Ramsey Heating and Electric, always with warm winters and cool summers. Number to call, 678-0459. Oh, my goodness sakes, she's probably waiting on me, wondering how come I'm so slow. Well, here is the lovely Rita Ramsey. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm here to keep you awake. How are you doing?
You're here? Why, was there an inference that I was sleeping on the job?
Oh, there's just never a dull moment with me, you know that.
I realize that. Rita, I've got to ask you, I know you've got an opinion on almost everything, and that's why I love you so much on this program, but Obama talking to the Coast Guard cadets, and during the graduation speech, his highlight of the speech was, we have got to be prepared for the major threat to the world and our nation. And all the cadets were hanging on every word, thinking he was going to talk about ISIS or Al-Qaeda, but he mentioned global warming.
I thought it was quite interesting that he emphasized that it was national security that's at risk with global warming.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, I've read a lot on global warming or climate change. I've had various scientists. I've had professors at universities be on this program. It's laughable at best, and many of the new facts that are coming out are proving that climate change has nothing to do with anything man caused. We're going into a period of cyclical change. Why can't people accept that?
Well, it's one of those things, and Bill Clinton was the master of it. That said, if you say things long enough, people start to believe it, whether it's the truth or not.
That's true.
And then they can say it over and over again, and most people go, oh, yeah, global warming, we don't want that. We want to make sure that we're protected and everything else. Well, the thing that they don't remember, and I do because I'm old enough, is in the 70s it was global cooling. Now it's global warming. And it's just a line. All it is a line to put money into pockets of those who are pressing that, and to put power into it. And I think Obama's big thing with it isn't maybe necessarily the power for him, but that power is being abdicated over to the UN. And so anytime they can do whatever they can to give power over to the UN, he has done that when he signed the gun confiscation thing earlier. It might not have been this year. It might have been towards the end of last year. But he and John Kerry both signed it, and it was for the UN. The only problem is that the Senate had to confirm it and approve it, and they wouldn't. So it's not actually law. But if there is an instance where the UN actually goes into world government, of which that's what Obama's real reasoning behind giving all this authority to the UN is about, we're in trouble because we have given over a lot of our authority to the UN, and this is just one more thing. The UN has its own nefarious reasons for doing it, and it's all about control. And the more that people learn about it, the more chance we've got of surviving. But you've just got tons of people out there, and there's probably some listeners. However, most of your listeners are probably pretty well informed. But you and I could talk to individuals that we just know on a regular basis, and a lot of them are, well, yeah, I'm in favor of taking care of that. We don't want global warming to happen. Why, we could burn up, or whatever they're thinking. But they're not thinking because they've just heard it for so long. They think that it's a threat, and it's not.
Well, here's something I wanted to read to you this morning and have you respond to it. And I have it right here in my hand. It's an article written by Michael Bastich with the, the Daily Caller. I know you know the Daily Caller, and I know it's a very respected organization. Well, a new study by the University of Houston researchers, they published findings that global warming is actually reducing high ozone days in the Houston area. In other words, global warming, if it is getting warmer, it's actually helping, aiding, and abetting get rid of all the smog. The University of Houston study suggests coastal cities around the world could see ozone levels decrease as temperatures rise, not increase like the Obama administration has claimed. These are very professional people, Rita. The University of Houston, very respected scientists. They're not going to put their neck on the line if they don't agree with it or believe in it.
Yeah, it's just crazy. We've done a lot of stuff since the 70s when we were reminded that we needed to kind of clean up things. We cleaned up a lot of waterways, and we've been reminded to take good care of our land, and everybody's doing a really good job, and it's making a lot of difference. But you get some of these, and just like with those at Houston, there's a number of scientists out there that have disputed what the facts and everything are, but some of them are afraid to come out and say it, and so you don't have everybody signing one great big giant blanket no, that's not true thing, because they're afraid they're going to lose their grants and their jobs and everything else. But it's just a big scam.
I agree. Now, let's shift gears a little bit, and I want to go to Hillary Clinton. I'm amazed. I'm amazed at this strategy of not answering questions. I'm amazed at this strategy of not really putting forth her platform. I'm amazed that it's working, and the general media and the general public is not demanding answers to questions. How does she get away with this?
Well, first of all, she doesn't have any competition. If she had some competition, she'd have to be out there. And because she doesn't, she's just keeping silent, hoping that she can just skate all the way in there. The big problem is that once the Republicans get narrowed down to a field of a few or even just to the one, she's going to have to answer questions, and there's going to be a lot of stuff brought out and presented to the people, and they're going to she'll have to dispute it or lie about it. Mm-hmm. And she's going to have to do it. But for right now, I mean, she's sitting pretty good because she doesn't have to do anything. It kind of makes me wonder if there aren't going to be somebody in the Democratic Party that will, creep up about the time that the primaries get started and decide that they're going to to run against her. I can't in my wildest dreams understand why, with somebody with a past like hers and no more credentials. I mean, she didn't even do anything in the Senate. All she did was complain about a few things, and she's changed her mind about those since. And then the massive mess that she created in the State Department, you know, Benghazi's still hanging out there, and you know, she can say, well, there was nothing, you know, we didn't do anything, or what does it matter now, or any of that other kind of stuff. But there were some instances in Benghazi that need to be brought out and presented, and between now and when she gets questioned about it, I'm sure Trey Gowdy will have her testifying under oath. And it could take the whole thing apart.
Well, did you happen to see there was about 12 Democrats, registered Democrats, that were pooled and asked questions about Hillary. And the mediator that was doing the questioning, he said, now, I would like to ask each and every one of you on camera, if you could please share with my audience what great achievements Hillary did as Secretary of State. And they had a camera, maybe you saw this on TV, they had a camera pan all of their faces at once, and they all had this kind of a stone cold look on their face, and they go, no one, not one of those people that was queried on TV could come up with any accomplishment. What in the world is the magnetism? What is the draw by the dim Democrats to put that kind of a person up for president?
I think there's a couple of things, and first of all, I did see that video, and I was quite surprised about it because they did have a deer in the headlights look. It was kind of like, I didn't know that I needed to know anything like that. Well,
yeah.
The problem is they could do all kinds of research, and they probably couldn't find an answer.
But, you know, Rita, I keep saying the same thing over and over. I mean, what is wrong with demanding that somebody basically bare their chest, so to speak, and I'm not trying to be rude, and let everything out that the public wants to know. Talk about their accomplishments or talk about their shortcomings. Answer questions. But is she really the best that the Democrats can throw in front of the public when she has no experience? She has really no knowledge. She's Miss Frumpy as far as I'm concerned. I don't want her as president ever.
Well, I think the problem with the Democrats is that their party is so damaged because of this administration that they're trying to lay low. And they know that she has name recognition, and they also know that she stands for the freebie stuff that is the giveaway. So you've got all of the people who are in favor of the giveaway stuff that would be supporting her. And then you've got the diehard Democrats that say we would never vote for anybody out of our party, so no matter who the Democrat is, we're going to vote for it. And she's the only one that's up there right away because everybody else is kind of like, well, it's kind of her turn, but let's see if she'll do the burn down, which, you know, I mean, that's exactly the way that it happened when Barack Obama came along. They didn't know who they were going to get or anything else, but because there was a new face, it was like, oh, yeah, let's go with him. And then she just steadily went downhill. And I think that's where they're at right now, is it's like, well, we've got to have somebody with name recognition to kind of keep us out there, but we don't want to have to answer any questions because the Democrat Party has been damaged so severely with this administration that they just want to lay low.
Well, what about Stephanopoulos? You know, I've read so many articles about Stephanopoulos, George Stephanopoulos from ABC. And his contributions of $75,000, at first they thought it was just $50,000, and then they found out that, oh my, gee whiz, it was another $25,000 on top of that. And the linking of arms with the Clinton Foundation, the linking of arms with Hillary and Bill, and I personally think that if the news media, anybody in the news media, and I don't care what side of the aisle it's on, if you're found to be contributing and found to be a partisan supporter of a certain candidate, you should recuse yourself from doing your job because you cannot remain impartial.
Well, you know, it wouldn't have been quite so bad if he hadn't have just raked, all of a sudden my mind went blank.
Oh, the Peter Schweitzer with the book.
Yeah, Peter Schweitzer over Clinton Cash. If he hadn't have just raked him over the coals, you know, he should have just said to his colleagues, hey, I can't do this because I'm really involved with it and I ought to just lay low and have somebody else do it. But instead, boy, he just got out there like an attack dog, and he just, basically, I'm going to take you down because you're lying and everything else. All of a sudden, he was a Clinton operative again, and, just really raking it over and not thinking that the repercussions of what he was doing. Anyone who has had any kind of association with the Clintons and then gave that kind of money to that foundation should have had absolutely nothing to say about that book and it's being published and what material is in it.
I want to ask you about free trade right after I do a weather forecast. I might be one of the very few on the air that's totally against this new trade agreement, but we'll find out more right after I do the weather with Rita Ramsey. Stand by. Right now the weather is brought to you by Mad River Laser. Nicole and Alex, and I tell you the whole staff, what a great business. And don't forget, they've got all the promotional items for your business. And if you're going to be in a parade and you want to hand out things about your business, they can make everything, giving all the promotional products first-class treatment for you. I'll guarantee you that is the place to go. Wonderful new location right there on the square in Rupert at 502 East Street in Rupert, and the number to call, 436-2293. Mad River Laser, absolutely the best. Right now, here is Michael Rogers weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers with Zeb at the Ranch. As far as your weather is concerned, no change. You possibly will not see the sun until possibly next Tuesday. Difference in the weather for today versus yesterday is that temperatures are going to be warmer. So you're looking for daytime highs in the low 70s, 68 when you get toward the weekend. But other than that, the rain still continues. No warnings or flood warnings or flash flood warnings are out. It's just basically a spring rain shower all the way through the weekend in the Magic Valley. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you can.
Michael, thank you very much. Once again, brought to you by our friends. They can do anything for your business as far as promotional items, the caps, the T-shirts, the sweatshirts, jackets. It's all fantastic right there at Mad River Laser. And they're located at 502 East Street in Rupert. The number to call, 436-2293. Rita, as you know, and you listen every day, I have spoken out against the new Trans-Pacific Free Trade Agreement. I don't like it. I don't think a lot of people are really educated in it, and they don't know the pitfalls of it. I had Curtis Ellis on the program this past week, and he absolutely has spoken out against it on all the major networks, including the cable networks. What are your thoughts about the Free Trade Agreement? Because I don't like it.
Well, back in March, we had the CEO for the John Birch Society come and give a presentation on free trade. And I learned a ton of things of it. One of the things that I learned is whenever there's free trade, it usually is damaging to Americans. It's good for anybody who's a part of it except America. And that's absolutely true. If you look at these, it's like, oh, yeah, that's good for those people. And it's just like the NAFTA deal. That was really good for Canada. It was pretty good for Mexico, but it hasn't been good for us. And any of these free trade things that they have going, they are actually made and they are authored by the UN, and the UN are the ones who are pushing it. And for some reason, they get a hold of some idiots in Congress that say, let's get this going, let's do this and let's do that. And we even have, even our own senators, I don't think that they looked at that close enough to know the facts and to see that that was not good for America. When they start voting on bills that have just tons and tons of stuff hanging on to them, the free trade thing was not only bad, but there's a ton of other things that are all attached to it, and they're bad as well. And when we get our Senate and Congress getting in favor of it or not reading the whole thing before they vote on it, of which they couldn't, every one of them should have refused to even consider voting for it. We're in trouble, and they're just not thinking about it. They're thinking, oh, yeah, free trade, that'll be good. Yeah, it's really good for the Chinese, but guess what? The Chinese don't let us bring stuff in without huge tariffs.
That's right.
And
that's right.
It's just bad for us all the way around.
Well, and here's where a lot of people in agriculture might not agree with me, but that's fine. I'm not going to back up and just be a whip boy for anybody. I'm just going to say it the way I feel. I honestly think that this Trans-Pacific free trade will hurt American agriculture. And I think it's going to be devastating to the American consumer, because I'll tell you why. I think that we should know where things are grown. I think we should know where food is processed. I think we should be able to know that it doesn't have a USA label on it and it might be coming from some dirty processing plant in Chile someplace. I want to know where my food is processed, and I think we have every right to. And this free trade agreement would cancel that out through the United Nations.
You're absolutely right. I don't know how the farmers actually stand on it, and I don't know how it would affect them individually. But I do know one thing, and that is that it is not a good deal for anybody, even if some of the farmers say, that might give us a way to get some of our products over to Timbuktu, India, or whatever, where we couldn't do before. But the problem is that so much more comes flooding in here, and without it being labeled as to where it came from, we're in trouble. I mean, think of a lot of the things that have happened with recalls and salmonella and stuff like that. I mean, we could be on a crash course with our food, and if it's our food that's affected, guess what? We are doomed.
Well, I said on this program a long time ago, and I think you and I have talked about this. Oil embargoes are very dangerous. Oil embargoes showed us, the United States, that we better start developing our own energy so that we're not held at bay by any country in the Middle East that's a camel jockey country. But if you take food and you are subservient to other countries for your imports, they've got you, Rita, and you've turned into a third world country.
No, that's absolutely right. And I don't know if you remember this or not. I was in high school when the Arab embargo went into play, and there were items of food because of the Arab embargo that you couldn't get, or if you could get them, they were 2 or 3 times the prices that they should be, and they just weren't available. It's like there weren't any on the shelves. Raisins was one of them. Peanut butter was one of them. And so it's like, okay, if that happens with the Arab embargo, which is petroleum or gas or whatever, and then I remember standing in line to fill up my car as well, is that we're in trouble. I mean, they will have us at their mercy, and they can name their price, and we won't have food. They can starve us to death. We have to make sure that we are not beholden to any country for our energy resources, and any of our food sources and resources. We have got to be independent. It's just something we've got to do, or we are going to be in big trouble, and they will own us.
Absolutely. We've got a caller. Caller, 1 minute left. Hurry up. Get on the phone and go. Thank you.
Okay. Well, you are talking about something I know a little bit about, and I am so glad, because I was in an organization that fought help, and we really worked hard to get nation of origin labeling on our food. And do you know what? The other folks don't want to put their name on their food.
That's right.
Bring it into our country. And so I don't know how that stands anymore. But believe me, I look on the label to see where my food came from.
I do too.
Americans need to know that when ours goes to other people, if it's made in the USA, people knock themselves down to get it.
The American courts have ruled that by having the cool or country of origin label is constitutional. But right now, through the UN and Mexico crybabying and Canada crybabying, they're bending, like Rita and I have been talking about, to listen more to the international courts and tribunals and pay attention to them instead of what our own courts have told us is legal right here. I'm absolutely incensed that I want to go to the store. I want to buy American processed and manufactured and grown goods. I don't want to help support somebody over in a foreign country that may have had very shabby and shoddy type means of processing that food.
Right. And we know for a fact that in China, the water is not the cleanest. And if you're eating their stuff, you better wash it with some heavy-duty disinfectant.
Amen. Chris, God bless you. Thank you for your call. Rita, respond quickly. I've only got a minute left.
Oh, I totally agree with her. We need to have the food labeled. We need to make sure that we're not part of the free trade. And I don't know how far this is going to go now that they've actually, I think they voted on it, and it was pretty much, oh, yeah, that'll be wonderful kind of thing. But we shouldn't have done it. It's not good for anybody, and it's especially bad for us.
All right. Rita Ramsey, final thoughts quickly on the Tea Party. What's happening?
Well, I don't know who our speaker is going to be this month, but the Tea Party is all about getting people educated. And if people would have come to our free trade meeting, they would have learned a ton of stuff about that bill and known some of the facts about it. If you aren't coming to some of our meetings and learning some of this stuff, you're just in the dark, and that's what we're all about, is giving people power because they have knowledge.
I always look forward to Thursdays because you do such a wonderful job, and thank you very much. God's blessings, and we'll talk to you next Thursday at 9:30. Rita Ramsey, thank you.
Bye.
All righty, bye-bye. Very, very nice lady, and I'm very honored to have her on my program every week. Rita Ramsey, thank you very much. You know what? Right now, at this time of the morning, on this day, Thursday, I get really hungry and I'm starving to death. So let's take a little tour of some of the places you can go to eat and curb your hunger. How about Taco Bandito? 2301 Overland in Burley with the breakfast burritos made just the way Kip knows how to make them, and that is delicious. Scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomatoes, special sauce on a tortilla shell. My, they're good. Along with the Tomalito burritos and the taco salads, everything at Taco Bandito. Delicious. 2301 Overland in Burley. How about we go over to Steve-O's? I love Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you like it. Oh, my goodness sakes. They got the best of French fries, steak fries, and don't forget pork chops with salad and choice of potatoes, and the world-famous Steve-O's nacho fries, topped with cheese and jalapenos. Oh, my goodness sakes, that's going to be great. You stop in today. You're going to love it. Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you like it. And let's move over to Burgers, etc. I'm drooling. It sounds so good. They've got two locations, 124 South, Oneida in Rupert, and 700 North, Overland in Burley. And after 3 p.m., do you know what? You can get hamburgers for only 99 cents. 99 cents? I'm not kidding. Delicious burgers and all kinds of other burgers, cheeseburgers, and don't forget they got all the onion rings and the French fries and the tater tots. Oh, my. Every Sunday at the Burley location, a shrimp dinner special. Don't forget that. And they've got the strawberry milkshakes, too, at Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, let's take a little tour to the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, the famous Farmer Brown burgers and the ranch burgers. And you gotta try that chicken fried steak sandwich. Knock your boots off delicious. Along with any flavored milkshake you can think of, all the fries, all the sauce. Wow, it is good. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. And those are just a few places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. And boy, am I ever. Coming up next hour, we're going to have the Cassia County School Days, and then a little interview with Eric Holbrook with Valley White Home and Ranch. And then at 10:30, of course, we've got Vicky's Country Gardens answering all your garden questions. Please call us and ask questions about how does my garden grow to Vicky's at 10:30. That should be good. Right now, we're going to turn it back over to our main studio. Take a break for about 6 minutes. We'll be back. Don't go away. Oh, my. Here we go. Hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch. Good morning. I'm Zeb Bell, and your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers are our major sponsor. Thank you very much to them. Wonderful, wonderful people at all 7 locations. And also our thanks go out to some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and along with Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Oh, my, we got a lot of things to do here. In just a minute, we're going to have Cassia County School Days. But before we do, I want to remind you about the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. What have they got for a special today? Hold on. This is a good one. Lasagna. Lasagna served with garlic toast and veggies and super salad. Oh, Deanne loves lasagna at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. All the great menu items, nice people, great atmosphere at the Chadwick Sports Grill. You stop in and see them today. Also, we want to remind you about the Relay for Life. Now, we've been telling you about this for the last couple of weeks. The Mini-Cassia Relay for Life is going to take place at the Cassia County Fairgrounds on June 19th and 20th, starting on Friday night the 19th at 6 p.m. with the opening ceremonies and then going through the Survivor Lap and the Caregivers Lap and then the Luminaria ceremony, all intended to raise and garner funds for the fight against cancer. Mini-Cassia Relay for Life. Please help us this year. And it's going to be on 19th and 20th of June at the Cassia County Fairgrounds. Oh, my. Let's see what else have I got to do real quick. I had one other little news note I had to get on, and I don't see it. So we're going to be going to the phone line momentarily. And we're going to be interviewing Sandra Miller, District Curriculum Director for the Cassia County School System. So stand by for that. Right now, also, I want to remind you about Streamline Precision, a great company at 120 South, 100 West of Burley, right next to Dot Foods. All you have to do is give Tim Vaughn a call today, and the number is 431-7314. That number again, 431-7314. Streamline Precision, serving you. And absolutely the best of building what you need from on-the-farm grain bin storage. They're an authorized dealer in Sioux Cup, Chief, Balin, and Nucor buildings. And believe me, they've got all the heavy equipment to handle your dirt hauling with the big side dump trucks, all the rigs to move your farm equipment from field A to field B. All of this and so much more at Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. You give Tim Vaughn a call today, 431-7314. Right now, it's time for Cassia County School Days, and it's brought to us by 2 wonderful sponsors of this program. First and foremost, the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, with money-saving and life-saving colonoscopies, cataract surgeries, and, of course, hand and knee surgeries, and so much more. Patients always receive friendly professional care and save hundreds of dollars at the Ambulatory Surgery Center, 677-8888, located at 1344 Highland in Burley. And also a Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. My goodness sakes, they're having the everything for babies and toddlers sale. I mean, everything there, the cribs and the clothing and everything else. Oh, and by the way, 20% off on hundreds of summer dresses, too. Gift wrapping is always free at a Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. Right now, excuse me, let's say good morning to Sandra Miller. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I am doing very well, thank you.
Sandra, tell me, have you been on this program before?
I have been a couple different times, and so I just appreciate the opportunity to visit with you again.
I thought you had. Your name and number sounded really familiar. Now, you are in charge and working with a team of teachers and administrators and parents. I understand you're investigating, kind of like Dick Tracy, you're investigating new books for math classes. Is that right?
That is correct. We have spent the past 8 or 9 months researching and looking at several different resources that are available for the teaching of mathematics.
Okay, now
we have taken time to do that, yes.
All right, now Sandra, you're going to laugh at me, but I'm an old cowboy from the old school. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 3 is 6. What other new math books do you need?
No, you're right, Zeb. The basic concepts are the basic concepts, but today's learner is so diverse and just there's so many different ways that students engage in learning, and also that teachers have strategies to get these ideas across to our students. We don't just want our students to know that 2 plus 2 equals 4. We want them to be able to problem solve situations where they may have to use their knowledge that 2 plus 2 equals 4, but they might not know that right off the bat that's the knowledge they're going to use until they start problem solving and critically looking at problems and real world situations, and then coming together mathematically in their thinking to come up with a solution.
Now, let me ask you, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here a little bit, if you don't mind, Sandra. Number one, why cloud the issue? Why make it tougher or more indistinguishable, if you will, than what it has to be when in this day and age, expediency to learn, expediency to get the right answer, it seems very up in the forefront. Why are we trying to cloud the issue and have them go around in a circle trying to find the door to get out of the room?
Well, we're actually not, in our mind, we're actually not clouding the issue. What we are doing is allowing students to use their own processes of thinking and analyzing in order to find the solution. When you and I, Zeb, were in school, many times our math teachers showed us a specific algorithm, one way to do it. Mm-hmm. There were 5 steps. Mm-hmm. This is where you start. This is where you end. For me, many times I could figure out the answer, but I might forget a step or two, and then the whole problem was not correct because I missed 2 steps in the process. But critically, I could think, and I could problem solve and analyze and come up with the right answer, but it wasn't okay because I had missed a couple steps. Well, for students, mathematic thinkers really don't need steps. What they need is that deep thought process, that problem solving, that critical thinking that will help them get beyond any formula that might be out there. Yes, the formula is important. The algorithm is important, but we want kids to get to that later on. We want them to discover and explore first and have a very deep understanding of the concept before they go, oh, yeah, I see how it plugs into the formula, and I see why. Okay, now I can buy into that. And using my own personal story, I can remember vividly Mr. Lansing, my algebra teacher, and I'm being honest about this. He catered to certain members of the class that seemed to grasp it, get it. I hated mathematics. I'm going to be very honest about it. I hated it because, quite frankly, I don't think some of the teachers really explained it. Now, that being said, later on in life, when I came out here to Idaho and I used math in a different process, in a different way, now I kind of like working with numbers. So I hear what you're saying, and I think it would help students. Oh, absolutely. And we want kids to love math from day one, kindergarten on up. So if we allow them to explore and to see how they really can use it in their own life and it has meaning for them, they're going to love it just like you kind of like math now. Well, Mr. Lansing had his main goal in life was trying to figure out how to kill me and bury the body someplace. He didn't like me in his class at all. Well, the days of strict memorization really are, memorizing has its place. It does for some of the very basic concepts in math. But really, what we want is that kids don't just memorize and not understand why they apply it. We want them to understand why they apply it first, and then the memorization of the facts will come. Yeah. Now, on the books and the selecting of books, and again, I'm kind of naive on this because how can you write various math books in so many different fashions that it's hard to choose? And the other part of the question is, I would imagine that whether it's teachers or administrators and especially parents, how are they going to know the good, the bad from the ugly? Sure. Well, that's why we took months to do this, and we used what we call an instructional materials evaluation tool. It's called the IMET, and it was created nationwide for people to actually delve into the resources, into the books, into the teacher manual, into the student manual, and to use that tool to identify those strengths and weaknesses, just like you're saying. Now, probably there is not a perfect curriculum out there. There's not a perfect book that's going to touch everything we need. But there are books that do quite a good job of hitting those concepts that we know students need at kindergarten.
Okay.
And so we want students to be mastering a certain amount of mathematical skills at kindergarten. And so we took the IMET, we took the Idaho Core Standards, and we said, are the standards met with adequacy? Are they met deep? Is there rigor? Is there coherence? Is there plenty of practice? Do teachers and parents have plenty of resources to help their child? Those are the things we looked at. And we did not take this decision-making process lightly. We spent 30 hours together as a committee, and I would venture to guess that another 30 to 50, 60 hours were spent from individuals out there who practiced using the books in their classroom, who did research online, who practiced with their own children at home, those kinds of things. So the decision, we had hoped to make the decision in April, but we actually ended up moving it to May because like you said, it's a big decision, and we really had to delve deeply into the different resources to figure out which one we believe is best for our district and for our students.
I've got to ask you, Sandra, is there a lady talking on the phone or something behind you?
No, I'm in my office and it's totally quiet.
Oh, well, then it must be something at the radio station. They've left a mic key open or something, because I keep hearing another person talking in the background, and I was just going to have you, if it was at your office, turn around and play like Miss Florence used to do in the library. Shh, be quiet. But anyway, I want to ask you, too, a lot of people think that there's an adherence to a national philosophy on curriculum, whether it's the government's philosophy or whatever, but basically the curriculum in the Cassia County schools, I understand, is a locally controlled decision on books and how it's taught, right?
Absolutely. That's why we have this committee, because we're not going to let anybody else tell us what's best for our teachers and our kids except us. We want the people here in Cassia County to be the voice of what we believe is best for our children.
Are you surprised, Sandra, as to not just the math, but education books in general, as to the changes and transitions from when I was in school, when they still circled the wagons at night?
Yes. Same with me. Over the course of my 28 years in education, the resources, the curriculum that's being used has changed. You're right. But today's learners, 21st century learners, are much different than we were. A lot of our kids are actually taking classes online at the upper grade levels, and that didn't exist for you and I, So yes, the curriculum, the materials have evolved. They have changed, and I think they're more responsive to today's learners, so that's important too.
Let me ask you one final thought here. If you and I'm quite a bit older than you are, I'm sure, but if you and I sat in a classroom today, be it a math classroom or whatever, would we be totally lost as to what's going on with the changes in education today?
No, we wouldn't be totally lost. However, we would have a better, deeper understanding of what we should master than we did. Because once again, I'll go back to that. I could pass math class pretty well, but I was a good memorizer. I could memorize the formulas, I could memorize my times tables, but then I couldn't explain why it was that way. Mm-hmm. I couldn't apply it in a different situation and a different setting.
Okay.
Learners today can do that. They can take the knowledge that they are learning, the skills, and apply them to any situation that pertains to that particular concept. And that's something I feel like I can't do. And so I did take an MTI math class with the new strategies, and unbelievable, and wish that I could go back now and do some of my math classes over again, because I, like you, have ended up really liking math.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I would take a class again, but you got to promise me. You got to sign an oath that I'll never have to stand and look at Mr. Lansing again, okay?
Okay, I promise.
Sandra Miller, District Curriculum Director for Cassia County Schools. God bless you. It was very interesting, and you're always such a nice lady. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Zeb.
Thank you. Take care. God bless.
Uh-huh.
Very nice lady right there, Sandra Miller with the Cassia County School System. And, of course, Cassia County Schools is brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley. Really nice people. Hey, stand by. Don't forget, too, that Lennox Home Comfort Systems available, of course, at our friends Ramsey Heating and Electric, offering qualified Lennox Home Comfort Systems on gas furnaces, air conditioners, and heat pumps. You and your family will enjoy the comfort. Number to call, 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric, where you always can enjoy warm winters and cool summers for over 50 years at Ramsey Heating and Electric. I think we're going to go to the phone line right now, and with us on the phone is Eric Holbrook, the advertising manager for Valleywide Home and Ranch. Eric, old buddy, how you doing?
Zeb, I'm trying to get a hold of him right now.
Oh, you're trying to get a hold of him right now?
Yeah, I forgot that the phone, you have to press the 1208.
Well, how dare you forget that? What is the matter with you, boy?
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, we're going to get him on the air momentarily, and I want to remind you that we will not be on the air next Monday, Memorial Day. My lovely bride of only 43 years, going on 44, and I are going to enjoy the Memorial Day weekend. It is one of the first times in all of our married life that I've been home on Memorial Day, and we're looking forward to it. And I hope that whatever you do it safely and be back here again on next Tuesday for our program. So we're going to take about 4 or 5 days off and enjoy. I hope you do too. All right, my friend Wheels, have we got him on the air?
It's still ringing, but it doesn't seem like he's answering.
He's not answering the phone.
No. Okay,
we're trying to figure out where he is, and try this number real quick, Wheels, 550-9618. 9618. Got it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll get a hold of him.
Hey, buddy, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
In just a very few minutes, we are going to have, of course, Vicky's Country Gardens, and she's going to be on the air talking about gardening for idiots. And a lot of questions have come in, and we invite you to call, too. If you have anything to ask about gardening, anything else is going to be on at 10:30 this morning. On Thursdays, we have kind of a potpourri of everything, and we compile it into one day with different segments, and we're looking forward to having Vicky on the air at 10:30. Let's check with Wheels and see if we've got Eric on the line right now. Did he answer that phone?
It's ringing right now.
Okay, let's listen to it ring. Turn it up so I can hear it.
Hi, Eric. You're on the Zeb Bell Show this morning? All right, I'll put you through, and he should be calling for you.
All right, I think we finally caught him. The lost is found. Good morning, Marketing Director for Valleywide Home and Ranch, Eric Holbrook. We finally got you.
Yes, I am. Sorry for the mix-up, Zeb.
That's all right.
Good morning.
That's all right. Just send a check or money order to Murtaugh, Idaho. I'll be glad to accept it.
I will do every month.
Okay. Hey, tell us what's going on at Valleywide Home and Ranch, getting bigger and better all the time.
Yeah, I think that, first of all, thanks for having me on, Zeb. I really appreciate it. And appreciate everything you do for Valleywide Home and Ranch.
Well,
but what we have going on, in case you've been under a rock or out of town for a while, is our second annual Antique Tractor Show is coming up in June 19th and 20th.
Right.
And if you have an antique tractor that you'd like to show off, or if you know anybody that has a antique tractor that they may not be aware of, let them know and get a hold of me, and we'll make sure and get you in the show.
Let me ask you something, Eric. I've had a lot of promotion on that Antique Tractor Show, and the deadline for entries, I think, is still May 30th. But But is there a publication? Is there a publication put out or something? Maybe people don't know that out in the backyard they might have an antique tractor that might take the best to show. I mean, how would they know?
We've done advertising on a couple of different radio stations, including yours. We've been advertising through multiple channels of our social media, and it's also been in the weekly mailer. And, it's just as simple as getting a hold of me. You can give me a call at 550-9618, or you can go on to ValleyWideCoop.com, and on the front page under Valleywide News, there's a link that kind of gives you some more information about the Antique Tractor Show and how to get a hold of me.
You know, Eric, you guys have done so much with Valleywide, and you've been so good to the 4-H'ers, because anybody that's a 4-H'er, whether it's their feed or the equipment they need, supplying them with a 10% discount, you're really helping the youth in agriculture, aren't you?
We are, and we take great pride in that, because, one of the Valleywide Cooperative motto is, basically give back to the community as much as you can. We like to be a neighbor to everyone that we're around, and that includes, citizens, that includes our neighbors, that includes 4-H members, and that's right, they get a 10% discount on all their show items around fair time, and also kind of tying the 4-H and the tractors together is that on the 19th and 20th of June, we're going to have burgers for $1. So what Valleywide does is we provide all the buns, the burgers, and the condiments, and all that. And then every dollar that you buy, that dollar will go to the 4-H kids. So every single dollar that is used to buy a hamburger will go to the local 4-H.
Hey, fantastic. Well, now listen, there's one other department I'd like to discuss. We got about a minute left. You folks have put together a Jim Dandy fishing department, and I love to fish, but I never take the time. But by golly, you've got everything over at Valleywide.
We do, and the thing that's really great about that is we also have the hunting and fishing licenses there, too. And what we have going on right now, Zeb, is if you come in and you buy your hunting and fishing license or your fishing license, you'll get a card that will give you a 10% discount on your hunting, or on your fishing supplies. So, it doesn't really get much better than that. You're going to get the stuff anyway. Might as well get your fishing license and a 10% off at Valleywide.
Absolutely. Now, are there any new items that you want to mention this morning? Quick, Eric, go ahead.
The new items we have is, coming in June, we're going to have 25% off all Ariat men's boots in stock, 25% all knives, Leatherman and Roku, pocket and sheath knives, and just a bunch of other items coming up. So the best way to keep in the loop for deals and events is like us on Facebook, which is Valleywide Home and Ranch in Rupert, and, keep up with what's going on in your own community.
I'll tell you what, folks, Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert, everything, and I mean everything, for the farm, the home, and the ranch. Eric Holbrook, advertising manager, you've done a wonderful job, and we're going to send everybody over to Valleywide, and not forget that Antique Tractor Show on June 19th and 20th. Are you going to be down here for that, Eric?
I will indeed. Yeah, I'll be the tall guy walking around with the camera. I'm pretty easy to spot, so come up and say hi, and I'll be taking pictures, and hopefully we'll get you in the whole picture album that we're going to have on Facebook.
All right. Eric, thanks for coming on the program. Don't make yourself a stranger, and come back in the future, okay?
All right. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Eric Holbrook, and doing a great job with Valleywide Home and Ranch, and we really, really appreciate all their support, especially for the 4-H'ers in this area. They do a great job. We are going to take a little break and come right back with Vicky's Country Gardens. Don't you go away.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, thank you very much, and welcome back to Zeb at the Ranch. And really glad to have you with us on this Thursday. Right now, it is time. She's waiting off the wings, stage right. Here she comes, the lovely Miss Vicky of Vicky's Country Garden at 185 South, 600 West of Paul, with a great national program, Gardening for Idiots. Good morning, Vicky.
Good morning, Zeb. I have a question for you.
I'm supposed to ask you the questions.
Well, what's that bright, shiny thing that's up in the sky?
Let me look. I don't know. I haven't seen it for a long time.
This morning, I'm like, oh, what is that up there? Nice, but what is it?
I can't answer that question because you know what? With my forecast that I pay a lot of money to Michael Rogers Weather, he said it wasn't going to be there.
Yeah, well, the forecasters have got about as much credibility, I've decided. I mean, they're guessing just like the rest of them.
Well, I tell you what, though. Don't spoil it. Don't say anything. Leave it alone.
I mean, it's nice. It's warm, and yes, it's nice. They did say it's coming back at us this afternoon, but, you know, let's enjoy what we got.
Oh, there you go, spoiling it right away. All right. Hey, tell me what's going on over at Vicky's Country Garden. I got quite a few questions for you, but bring us up to speed as to, hey, one question I've got. Has this water damaged our gardens and set us way back?
It hasn't. As far as I can see, it hasn't done a bit of damage. Unless everybody was really heavily watered up before the rains hit. But I mean, it's going to dry out. You know, I don't see that there's anything that's really going to get hurt that bad. Just be careful of your watering from here on out. Obviously, you haven't had to water for about a week now, so. But I don't think it's really done any major damage. It's put some nice deep moisture. If you haven't got your gardens in, this is an excellent time to get them in because you've got good moisture in the ground.
But you know as well as I do that with all this moisture, you are darned if you do and darned if you don't, because now with all the moisture, look out, weeds, here it comes.
Oh, yes, the weeds have already jumped probably 3 to 4 inches. They're just happy little campers, so this is a real good time. And another thing with the moisture, though, and the weeds is they pull really easy, so you get root and all now.
Oh, okay.
We've been doing that here, and I mean, you've got a deep moisture, and boy, those roots they pull right out really easy. So it's a good time to get the weeds out of there and under control. But it is a good time to get your garden, get your seed in, because now when we get warm weather, you've got moisture. Combination of what makes makes a seed germinate, so they should pop right up for you.
Now, is there anything a person can apply to the garden basically to right now to help eliminate a lot of the problems with weeds?
Well, if your plants are already up,
yeah.
If you've got if your garden seeds and everything are already up and established plants, you can put down your weed and grass stopper, like a lot of people call it preen. You can do that kind of a thing right now with the good moisture, with the rains and that works great.
Okay.
But you can't put it down if you've still got seeds in the ground coming up, because they won't come up either.
Now, a lady called, and this is something I think we have not addressed, at least not this year, maybe last year. But a lady called me and she said, Mr. Bell, I don't have room for a garden in the location that I live, and I'd still like to grow something. What can you have Vicky talk about? Maybe some of the what is it, the upside down tomato plants and all that other stuff? Tell us how they can still grow some things and when they don't have room for a garden.
Well, you can do container gardening, and like on patios and things like that, you can do a little container and have your fresh lettuce and spinach and things like that. It grows fine because you're going to be replanting that on a regular basis anyhow as you use it. You can do tomatoes in containers. The only thing you got to remember is you're using a potting soil as a rule, and so consequently you have to keep your fertilization going on a regular basis. You've got to fertilize with a long-acting fertilizer at least about once a month, and then you need to come back in with some the water-soluble, like your Miracle Grow or my Blooming and Rooting that we have here, and water at least once a week or so with that, because you have no nutrient in potting soil.
Okay. And
basically grow pretty much anything. Radishes, you can do little rows of radishes. You can do lettuce. You can do tomatoes and you can do peppers. Corn is out of it because that takes a little bit more. But all your little small crops, beans, You can do all that kind of stuff in containers.
Okay. Now, a question again came up this morning. A lady called me and she says, is it going to be Vicky's Country Garden Day? And I said, yes, it is. And she said, well, I haven't had a chance with all this moisture to plant my garden or even get it plowed. She says, do I have to give up on it? It seems like we get this question every week. Is it too late?
No, it's not a bit too late. The only thing is don't get on that garden right now with a tiller or anything if you haven't got it, if you hadn't tilled it and rototilled it or plowed it or whatever earlier, because you're just going to end up with mud balls now. You don't want those big heavy clods. Give it a few days to dry out, get it to where you've got some nice moisture. You just want if you can reach down and take a hold of the dirt and form a clump in your hand and squeeze it and it holds together, not like a mud ball, but just that you can hit and break up easily, then you can go ahead and till.
Okay. Now,
but you don't want to get on it when it's real wet because you'll just cause yourself, it'll compact down and you'll cause yourself a royal mess.
I would imagine, and I think you'll agree with me, that with all this rain and all of a sudden if it starts warming up into the 80s, 85, whatever, we are going to have bugs, right?
We've already got bugs. Aphids are eating up a lot of fruit trees. I mean, everybody's bringing them in. It's like, what's wrong with my fruit tree? The leaves are all rolled up. I unroll them, and there's 9,000 little black aphid in there. So start your spray cycles right now. I mean, get started on your insecticides right now and keep them out of there. And also, with all this rain, get a fungicide going. If you've got tomatoes out, get a fungicide going on your tomatoes, your fruit trees, and everything, because this wet, damp weather causes fungus, and then as soon as the heat hits it, it just explodes. So get ahead of it and get it killed before it gets a chance to explode on you.
Okay. What about berries? You know, I haven't talked too much about those, but a lot of people like to have blueberries, etc. Is it too late for those?
No, you can put berries and stuff in. Just remember, with blueberries, you have to totally acidify the soil. You have to completely change our soil. You have to put a lot of peat moss in, a lot of soil sulfur, and keep adding that throughout the years, because they don't like our high pH soil. They have to have a pH down around about a 5, and ours is usually running around an 8 or above. So you've got to redo our soil for blueberries. Soil sulfur works great on just regular ground for raspberries and strawberries and blackberries. It makes them just produce a lot heavier. So just use a lot of soil sulfur in around all your berries and things like that.
All right,
spring and fall.
Okay. I put you on the spot last week, and I'm going to do it again this week because you really had a good answer. It is time now for the Vicky's Country Garden Tip of the Week.
All right. I've probably already more or less talked about it, but right now we're going to be being hit with fungus and blight and that in the tomatoes. So if you've got your tomatoes and stuff in, get started on a regimen of fungicide with your fruit trees, your tomatoes, and that. Keep the fungus out of them. Also get your insecticides out and get ready to go on them, because they are going to attack, there's no doubt. And just be on guard and be ready to get them, because they can do some damage and weaken plants down. And have cover handy for plants if you've got them out, because there is a chance. I don't care. I've lived here long enough to clear these wet spells out. We could get a frost.
Yep, I agree. And
so plant your plants. They do great in this wet, cool weather, but have cover handy so that at night, if it looks like the clouds are clearing and the wind's going to drop, put a blanket on them.
Now, I'm going to have you do your own commercial today. Tell us real quick about Vicky's Country Garden. What are the specials you want everybody to be aware of right now today?
Well, we've still got lots and lots of tomatoes and that for the gardeners. We've got everything. You know, you're not late on gardens, so don't think you are. Don't give up. Come in and see us. We've got pretty much everything. Still got a few hanging baskets, not a lot, but a few, and just got in some nice new trees to plant in your yard, and this is a great time to plant trees. So we've got just a little bit of everything, whatever you need.
I tell you, I always look forward to having you on the air. You do such a wonderful job. Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Number to call, 438-5663. Vicky, God's blessings to you. Have a wonderful, safe Memorial Day. By the way, are you going to be open this weekend?
We are going to be open on Memorial Day. It'll be shorter hours. I think we'll be 10 to 5, but we will be here on Monday, Memorial Day, and we're open on Sundays from 11 to 4. So
Well, if
come in and see us if you need us.
If you're ever driving by where the poor people live over here at Murtaugh, just come on in and sit down. We'll visit. How's that?
That'll work.
All right. Vicki, have a great Memorial Day weekend.
All right. Thanks, Zeb.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul, with the lovely Miss Vicki, and the number to call, 438-5663. Hey, it is time for the weather forecast, and the weather is brought to everybody by Scarro's Meats. Don Scarrow and the rest of the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Telephone number to call, 324-7657. They do sell taste, one bite at a time. And I want to tell you a little bit about the tax return meat package. Oh my goodness, beef, pork, chicken, cheese, all of this, and it's all great. Rump roast, New York steaks, beef patties, pork chops, bacon, oh my goodness, chicken and cheese. Wow! Only $300 at Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. They sell taste one bite at a time. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers with Zeb at the Ranch. As far as your weather is concerned, no change. You possibly will not see the sun until possibly next Tuesday. Difference in the weather for today versus yesterday is that the temperatures are going to be warmer. So you're looking for daytime highs in the low 70s, 68 when you get toward the weekend. But other than that, the rain still continues. No warnings or flood warnings or flash flood warnings are out. It's just basically a spring rain shower all the way through the weekend in the Magic Valley. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you can.
Oh, Michael, thank you very much. We appreciate Michael Rogers weather. And even though the sun currently is shining. Hey, Scarro's Meats. They sell taste one bite at a time. 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. You get a hold of them today. Folks, we are going to be celebrating Lunch Bunch in roughly about 45 minutes over at Denny's Restaurant in Burley, and we urge you to come on down and join us for Lunch Bunch. I'm going to be hitting the road here in just a very few moments, as a matter of fact. But before I do, I want to remind you, get ready for summer travel. Take your vehicle into your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and have them check out the free pre-trip safety check. Oh my, that's a blessing to make sure you can hit the road safe and sound. And also, check out all the great tire buys for your four-wheeled wonder, like the Ultra Z900, the very best passenger car tire they have in stock. Long tread life, smooth, quiet ride. It is on sale right now. Check out the best in brake value promises. Oh my goodness, they can really take care of your brakes. They've been providing brake service to their customers for well over 30 years. Front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this, but also the very best in service. So stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. The best. I want to wish you and yours a very, very happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. And remember the holiday for what it really is. It's a remembrance. It's a memorial for those that have gone on before us. And I know a lot of people will be decorating the grave sites, etc. We will be doing that also this weekend. And I want you to be safe. I want you to use your head. I want you to drive with care. I want you to have a family gathering with a lot of fun, but yet safety, and be back here again next week on Tuesday. We're going to take Monday off. We're going to give old Wheels the day off so we can lounge out in the sunshine. And we'll be back on next Tuesday. Zeb at the Ranch, and we are right now going to leave and go to Denny's Restaurant for our lunch bunch for the month of May. God bless everybody. Tune in to K-Bar, 12:30 a.m. Zeb Bell, ZebBell.com on the internet. And Wheels is going to take it up to news. I'm going to get on the road. We'll see you next Tuesday.